Let's take a look at solving systems that have 3 unknowns and 3 equations in them. We're going to look at example 1 on page 160. So when I look at example 1, I have 4x plus y plus 3z equals 1, and 2x minus 2y plus 6z equals 11, and minus 6x plus 3y plus 12z equals minus 4. Now, if you follow this method every time, you are most likely going to be successful with these problems. So what I do is I take and I label my equations as 1, 2, and 3. And what I normally do then is I will pair up 1 and 2. So I will go over here and I will put 4x plus y plus 3z equals 1, and I will pair it with the second equation. And then I will do another problem, and I will pair up 1 and 3. Now, as I work on these problems, what I want to do is I want to eliminate the exact same variable on both problems. So I start looking at my two problems, and I see that on this one, the x's have a 4 and a 2, and I'm trying to find something that would be easy to eliminate. If I did the x's, I would need to multiply the bottom by a 2 in order to get a 4, and then change the signs on the bottom. This one has a plus and a minus already, but it has a 2 on the bottom and a 1 on the top. So that one might be pretty easy to eliminate. Let's look at the y's on the other side and see about it. It has a 3 on the bottom and a 1 on the top, so all we need to do is multiply the top by -3, and that would make it eliminate. So I'm looking for something that would be easier to eliminate. I can pick any of them as long as I eliminate the same letter, the same variable, on both problems. So I'm going to multiply this top row by 2. And since I multiplied the top row by 2, I'm not really using it anymore. So now I have these two, and I'm stacking them up, and I want to eliminate my y's and add the rest. So I get 10x plus 12z equals 13. Since I eliminated the y on the left, I'm going to eliminate the y on the right. So I'm going to multiply this row by -3. And so I have -12x minus 3y minus 9z equals -3. I've multiplied by the top row, so I'm going to mark it out so I don't get confused. I'm going to add those two together. So I get minus 18x. These eliminate. 12 minus 9 is 3. And minus 4 minus 3 is minus 7. Now, for your next step, what you're going to do is you're going to take the result of both of these and you're going to put them together as another problem. So I'm going to have 10x plus 12z equals 13. I'm going to pair it with minus 18x plus 3z equals minus 7. And I'm going to do the same thing again, only now I only have two variables. So I'm going to do just simple elimination. I'm going to try to eliminate one of my variables. So over here I have a 10 and a minus 18. I would need to multiply the top by 18 and the bottom by 10 to get that to eliminate. That's going to be really big numbers. For the z, I have a 3 on the bottom and a 12 on the top. If I multiplied the bottom by a -4, I would have a -12, and that would eliminate. So I'm going to do the bottom by -4. So I've got -18 times -4, and I get -72. Oh, positive 72, sorry. And then I get +3 times -4, and that gives me minus 12z. And then a -7 times a -4 gives me a positive 28. Since I multiplied by the middle row, I'm going to mark it out to keep me from being confused. I'm going to add the others. So 10 and 72 is 82. The z's eliminate. And 13 and 28 is 41. So now if I divide both sides by 82, I get 1/2 for my x. And if I look over at my book, I see that that's what they got too. So I'm doing good with this one. Now, in order to get your other two answers, what you want to do is do back substitution. So you're going to take your first answer that you got and substitute it back into one of these previous equations. So I'm going to substitute it into that first one. And I'm going to say 10 times my x, which is 1/2, plus 12z equals 13. 10 times 1/2 is 5, plus 12z is 13. Subtract 5, so 13 minus 5 is 8. And divide both sides by 12. I get 8/12, which will reduce because 4 will go into both of those. So 4 goes into 8 twice and into 12 3. So z is 2/3. So now I have two of the answers. What you want to do now is go back up to the very top, pick one of the equations that has all three variables in it. So I have 4x plus y plus 3z equals 1. And I'm going to substitute the two answers that I found in this one to find the third one. So the two answers that I have are 1/2 for x. I don't know the y, but I know that z is 2/3. So 4 times 1/2 is 2. 3 times 2/3 is 2. 2 plus this 2 is 4. Bring my 4 over. 1 minus 4 is minus 3. So now I have all three answers. Usually they're written as ordered triples in alphabetical order. So we would have x, y, and z. So x is 1/2, y is minus 3, and z is 2/3. If you really want to make sure that you're correct, you could take the three answers that you got, go all the way back up to the top, and don't use the one that you used to get your final answer. Use the other two and substitute your answers in them and check them to see if they work. And that way you can make absolutely sure that you're correct.